I'm going to give you an introduction to Hardhat, which is an Ethereum development framework for professionals. At least that's the advertisement here on their homepage. So anyways, Hardhat is a tool that lets you develop smart contracts for Ethereum, and it's an alternative to Truffle, which is, the framework that I've used extensively on my YouTube channel inside this program. And I want to make an introduction video for you today, so you can get your hands dirty with Hardhat, see how it works. So Hardhat is actually a brand new framework for me, so I'm going to be learning a lot with you while I'm doing this video. And today is designed to be an introduction. So we have a video coming out probably next week, if not next week, then very soon. We're going to build we're going to migrate a project to Hardhat. So there'll be a lot more, coding involved. In that particular video, we're making this video today to give you an introduction to see how it works, why you might want to use Hardhat over Truffle. So, stay tuned and we'll see all that in action. So let's just go on their homepage here. So why Hardhat? So you can run Solidity locally, all right, which is pretty cool. Basically, you can run do your blockchain inside your Hardhat project, debugging first. So you can do console log, all right, with Hardhat, which is pretty cool. So I remember seeing this when it first came out, and Hardhat has migrated from Nomic Labs builder. Okay, I remember when they came out with console log for Solidity. It's pretty cool. So if you've ever tried to, and anyways, they migrated to Hardhat, and now it's included in Hardhat natively. So if you've ever tried to debug smart contracts, it can be kind of challenging even with Truffle debugger, but you can put console logging statements inside your smart contracts with Hardhat, which we'll see as we go through the documentation here in a minute, which makes debugging help a lot. Okay, you can see what the values are inside your code. You can add your own tools, fully extensible, it's got a plugin ecosystem. There's lots of other benefits, but these are some of the coolest ones right outside the box. Okay, so let's observe these. Let's go ahead and step through this and see how we get started. So if you want to try out Hardhat, the first thing you want to do is go to your terminal, make sure you have npm installed, and install Hardhat like this. We'll just follow the instructions here and say npm install --save -dev Hardhat. Actually, let's create a new project here. So cd code. I'm gonna make directory. We'll say Hardhat demo. All right, cd Hardhat. All right, and then npm install --save -dev Hardhat. All right. And so mine just installed successfully. So you just see a message like this. You might see some warnings here. That's okay, as long as you see success here. Like as long as you have this message, then you should be fine. Even if you have all these warnings, right? It's not ideal, but that's just the state of things. So I'm gonna clear that out just in case you want to see what node version I'm using. In case you have a problem with the tutorial, I'm using node version 12.16.3. So hopefully that should work just fine for this. I'm gonna put my terminal down so you can see this better. Bump this up even more. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with Hardhat here. Sorry. The first thing you want to do is use the executable. So npx Hardhat. Okay, so you can do it like this. Npx Hardhat. All right, you'll see a prompt here. They'll say, what do you want to do? Create a sample project, create an empty hardhat.config.js file, or quit. So we're going to create a new project. So just click that, hit enter. And then we're going to do it in the current folder we just created. You could edit this if you wanted to. You could change it to a different directory. We'll do that. You want to add .ignore. So that's going to be a file to tell Git which files to exclude or ignore. Click yes. I'm just going to say no. You can if you want to. That's okay. Do you want to install the sample project dependencies with npm? So this will be waffle and ethers. So I'm going to say yes. So basically, these are libraries that will also chai. These are libraries that can help you with your development. So basically, ethers is going to be your connection to the blockchain. So that's an alternative to Web3.js. So there's another video in the video vault on introduction to ethers.js. And so we'll see that more in action in this next video where we do a sample project in Hardhat. Okay. So we'll get this finished, and then we'll continue from there. All right, so now that's finished. Whenever you have your success message here, you'll know that it worked. Okay, so project created. So we can go ahead and open this in our text editor. I'm going to use Sublime Text, so I can open mine in my project like this, a double dot. Okay. You can use whatever text editor you like. Sometimes we'll say, like, hey, I should probably purchase this. Sometimes you'll probably say, like, hey, I can't use that command from mine. It's okay. You can use whatever text editor you want to. You can go to File, Open, and then just open your project directly that way. I'm sure lots of the text editors like VS Code support opening your text editor with a command line shortcut like I do. So anyways, so here's our code. We can see it's got a package.json file. This is where all the project-specific dependencies go. Just like our Truffle project, it looks very similar. The lock file for the packages, the hardhat.config file, okay, the ignore file, tests, scripts, contracts. So if you have built a Truffle project and any of the other tutorials, it should look really similar. So basically, the hardhat.config.js file is basically the same thing as the Truffle-config file. All right. So that's sort of the analogy here. All right. The test file, it's got sample tests inside of it, which I don't think that most Truffle projects come with tests outside of the box. I have my own Truffle sort of template that I use, so I don't create a lot of new Truffle projects from scratch. So I don't think that most Truffle projects come with tests. I don't think they do, at least not the latest version of Truffle. So script, you got a sample script inside of here. So Truffle also supports scripts, but you have to create them manually. So we'll see how it's in action, and then the contracts, of course. And this is the greeter.sol, which is cool. It's got some smart contract code already inside of here. So now what I look at is the idea of Hardhat tasks, because that's going to be your bread and butter. All right, so you can see the available tasks like this. You can do Hardhat, npx Hardhat. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this because this is one of my first times trying Hardhat. So you can npx Hardhat. It'll actually show you a list of. It'll show you a list of all the available tasks. So, sorry, I was getting distracted by the global options here. I saw this emoji that distracted me. I'm gonna actually explore that here in a second. Let's try it after this. So Hardhat accounts will print the list of all accounts. So you think about this like Truffle. So like Truffle test will run tests. That's kind of the same thing in Hardhat, right? So Truffle has Truffle exec that runs scripts. So this is Hardhat run. We'll run the user-defined scripts. Hardhat node will actually start a development blockchain. Okay, that's what Hardhat node does. It's sort of like doing Ganache CLI if you're coming from Truffle development. Hardhat flatten will flatten your smart contracts for you, which is pretty cool. Most of the Truffle projects I've done in the past have had to install like Truffle Flattener as a plugin basically to do that. So Hardhat is out of the box. Hardhat console opens the development console just like Truffle console. Hardhat compile compiles contracts, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so we're gonna explore a lot of these, but one reason I want to show you the available tasks is something pretty cool about Hardhat, which you can define your own tasks. So you can see one here. So Hardhat accounts prints a list of all accounts. So we can look at that and say Hardhat. Let's just clear it. npx Hardhat accounts. All right. That shows you all the assigners for ethers.js. Those are all the accounts you'll have access to. So you can actually create your own tasks, which is pretty cool. So you can just do, foobar, my custom task. Okay, so we could basically just say console log foobar. Okay, and so you can say npx Hardhat, and it looks like it doesn't show you the name of that task when you do the page here. But let's just try this way. Hardhat or npx Hardhat foobar. Let's just see if it works. Yep, there you go. Or you can log, my custom task. I'm gonna try again. There you go. So you can do lots of stuff inside of here. You could, the thing that I'm trying to figure out, and we'll see how this works. Anytime you have a new tool, you're trying to figure out what the best way to use it for is. My initial, not critique, but my initial question is I don't see the big benefit of this over something like scripts. This is not, like I said, there may be a really good reason to do something like this in a task over a script. So if anybody's connected with Hardhat in this program or has a good idea of why you want to use a task over a script, I'm always open to new ideas and open to learning. Because at the end of the day, this is all brand new software. We're always trying to figure out the best way to do things. And so if anybody has any feedback on like the best reason to use a task over script, for example, then I would love that feedback. So the next, let's go ahead and look at scripts in that way. So actually, before we do that, we'll get scripts in a second. Next, let's actually look at some of the other tasks you can run out of the box with Hardhat. So next, let's look at how to compile contracts, because this is another, core functionality of the software itself. If you had a truffle project before, you of course always need to compile the smart contracts down to machine readable code. So if you go to your contracts directory, you'll see this greeter contract. So this is an Ethereum smart contract written in Solidity programming language. This is human readable code where we program all the business logic, but we have to compile this down to byte code so that it can be run on the Ethereum virtual machine. That's what compiling the smart contract does. We won't personally be able to read this code as humans, but the machine does. It's more efficient. It's the language of machines, all that kind of stuff. That's what byte code is. So that's what the smart contract does. Again, hopefully in this next video, we're going to have a little mini project inside Hardhat, so we'll actually get into maybe some custom coding. For now, we're just going to use the basic codes inside here. One thing I want to call out to you is the console log here. So this is really cool. This is what I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Debugging inside of Solidity is a challenge because it just is, right? And so console log is something you use inside of here, just like you do in JavaScript, where you can log messages out to the standard output in your terminal whenever you run certain functions inside of Solidity. That will work this way. Okay. So we're gonna see a message with this message in particular whenever we deploy the smart contract to the blockchain, and we're gonna see this particular message whenever we call the set greeting function. So that'd be really cool. So you can turn these on and off, right? But these are the things that are gonna be really helpful when you're developing the smart contract. So let's do Hardhat compile. Oh, sorry, npx Hardhat compile. So I'm used to the truffle way of when I have truffle installed as a global npm package. So what's really cool is it downloads the latest Solidity compiler just like this, compiles the files like this, and then you have the compilation file built successfully. And you can see the artifacts file created here. So build contracts, greeter.sol. Here's the JSON file. Awesome. It's got the ABI inside of it, which is the abstract binary interface. This is what you need to create a JavaScript version of the smart contract. Describes the interface, all that kind of stuff. And then we will see the address here whenever we deploy it to a network. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And actually, before we deploy it, let's look at the tests first, because that's the development lifecycle. You want to test things before you deploy it. But let's just go ahead and do it. So we have a test inside of here, the test directory sample-test.js. Okay. So we have the test already wired up in here. So there's some white space. Let's take it down. So this should look very similar to the truffle tests. Okay, that done in other tutorials. So you can say describe greeter, and then say it should return the new greeting once it's changed. Okay, so greeter equals await ethers.get contract factory greeter. All right, and then here's the actual deployed instance of the greeter. So what this does is it gets a JavaScript version of it. Here's the deployed copy. We call a wait function. We get the deployed copy like this. So I said that wrong. Here's the factory. We deploy it. Then we get the deployed copy. So that's what's going on here. My fault. And we say expect the greeter greet function. We call it. All right. And we expect the return value to equal hello world. So that's what you have inside of here. So we deploy it with a greeting. So yeah, we pass in the greeting right here. Okay. Greeter deploy hello world. We pass in the greeting here, and then we fetch the greeting like this, and then we reset the greeting like this. Hola mundo, and then await greeter greet to equal hola mundo. So the greeter contract is a classic example of a Solidity smart contract. It's like one of the canonical hello world contracts. So that this code didn't come from nowhere. This has been used in pretty much every Solidity tutorial since like the beginning of time. So that's what's going on here. So let's go and run this test, see this in action, and we can say npx Hardhat test, just like the truffle test, and you can see very similar output here. So deploying greeter with the greeting hello world, changing greeting from hello world to hola mundo. And then you see the output of the test here, should return the new greeting once it's changed, right? So I want to call out the difference here. So this is the output of the test itself, but this is the output of the console log. So check this out. I want to show you how the console log works. So we could basically say this. We could change the console log. We could add a new one. We could just say, console log, my awesome console.log. And then we can run the test again. So I think we can do it without, okay, so we got to compile again. Or maybe I just did oh, sorry, I missed a, I'm not sure if the test will compile automatically with Hardhat. Let's just see. Yeah, it's compiling. Okay, yeah, so you can add arbitrary console logs. And that's what you're seeing here. The reason I wanted to do that was to show you how to change the console logs, but also show you that that's what this block of text is here. That's not part of the test. This is just the console log to the standard output of the terminal. Okay, you can remove all the console logs completely. Let's do this first. Do one thing at a time here, and then let's take these out. All right, and then observe behavior. Take your console logs out, and then boom, there you go. You have a very clean test that just says, here's the greeter, and it should return the new greeting once it's changed. That test passes. So with no verbose console logging in the test. So I'll take those back, and we'll keep that in the file so we can deploy it. All right, so now I want to show you how to put your smart contracts on a blockchain itself. So let's go to the scripts and the sample script. So one big difference between Hardhat and Truffle is that it looks like, and like I said, I'm still new to Hardhat, so I'm figuring out the best practices for this brand new technology. But it looks like Hardhat relies upon scripts for contract deployment. So Truffle uses the migrations directory, it uses the Truffle deployer. It manages the migrations on chain with a special smart contract. And Hardhat does it differently. So from what I'm seeing with my limited experience with so far. So inside Hardhat, basically you write scripts. So like Truffle supports scripts as well. You can run arbitrary scripts. You run arbitrary scripts inside of Hardhat, but it looks like this is the prevailing paradigm for putting smart contracts on the blockchain. So you can see the main function here. What it does is something very similar to the test we just saw, right? We got the greeter factory here. We deploy the greeter, and then we basically got the copy here. That's exactly what we do here. So we just get the contract factory for greeter. We deploy it. That's basically putting the contract on the blockchain. We get a deployed copy, and then we fetch the address and log that to the console. So this is sort of the boilerplate code. This is the pattern if you're going to write your own smart contracts on the blockchain with Hardhat, then I would follow this pattern, okay? And then whenever you execute the script, basically we'll just call this main function. Right, so we define the main function here. We call the main function here asynchronously, and then say then process exit. If there's an error, then do that way. So these are JavaScript promises. If you want to understand promises more, highly encourage you to read more about them online. You see this async await pattern all over the place. That's basically a pattern for handling asynchronous JavaScript functions, but this is also another way of doing it with these promise chains like this. Okay. So save that, And then try this Hardhat. Npx Hardhat run sample scripts. I think that's how you do it. Again, okay, so let's take us in scripts. Yeah, so you got to tell it in the scripts directory. All right, there we go. So we've just deployed a greeter with the greeting hello Hardhat, and here's the address at which is deployed. All right, now at this point, you might be thinking like, hey, where is the blockchain? Like we just started a Hardhat project. We get this address back. We're running tests, but I never like started a blockchain manually. Well, that's because Hardhat basically creates an in-memory blockchain for you behind the scenes. Okay, so that's basically answer the question. So that's at least my understanding of how Hardhat works. Again, this is a new tech to me. But if you want to run, if you want to expose this or run a Hardhat node network manually, you do like this. So let's just look at this thing here. Hardhat will always spin up an in-memory instance of Hardhat network on startup by default. That's basically what I just said. It's also possible to run the Hardhat network standalone fashion so that external clients can connect to it. This could be MetaMask, your DApp front end, or script. So basically, if you want to create a front end app, then this is what you need to do. To run Hardhat network this way, just do npx Hardhat node. So do npx Hardhat node. All right, and there you go. So of course, don't use these. But now, if I open a new tab here, I can say, let's just see. So it's okay. It has created a new blockchain at localhost port. This one right here. So a localhost port 8545. So let's just see here. I can connect this to my MetaMask. Let me just pull out MetaMask here. Try to import an account to MetaMask. Of course, never use these private keys because anybody's watched the video because they're money. But I can import an account like this. Let's do import account, paste in the private key. Let's change networks here. Let's do 8545, and then boom, there you go. See, I've got like 10,000 ether. Okay, so that's how you expose it in MetaMask. And if you're you're gonna deploy a smart contract, you can do it that way. So we could do this kind of thing. Run scripts network localhost, and then okay, there we go. We just deployed a greeter to this. All right, so now I can also do like console log. Or no, sorry. I can do Hardhat. Or sorry, npx Hardhat console. This is like a trouble console. And I can also do this way, exit. I can do it with the network that I just added to network localhost. So now I'm connected to this particular network. And then also you can see the console log here. All right, the console log was logged here to the blockchain. Okay. We can get the Hardhat contract like this. Let's just copy and paste this stuff in the console. So const greeter exists. Okay. All right. And then this. So we're just fetching a copy of the deployed greeter. So there it is. And then we can just say, greeter address. And then boom, there's the address of the greeter on the network. So we can also do we can do, let's see here. Let's do this. We'll set the greeting just like in the test. All right, so now we can see over here our blockchain that the contract was called. So we set the greeting. Here's the function. Here's the transaction ID. Here's the account called. Here's the contract it was to. Gas used, block number, and then you can see the console logging statement here. So change greeting from hello Hardhat to hola mundo, and then we can, oh wait, let's see. Oops, sorry. And then boom, there you go. There's the new greeting. Okay, so we exit the console like this. It'll exit. All right, so I'll clear that. And then let's see what else we want to look at here before we wrap up today. I'm actually curious to see how the emoji flag works. So use emoji messages. So Hardhat, let's just say compile -- emoji. Or sorry, I keep doing this like the trouble commands. npx. Okay, so let's Hardhat node -- emoji. Okay, guys, I don't see any emojis coming out there. Let's do Hardhat test. Oops. Okay, guys, I don't see any emojis. If anybody knows what the emoji flag does, please let me know in the Slack channel. Some of the other options, yeah, all kinds of stuff. Okay. So last thing I'll talk about is basically migrating from truffle. So we've seen a lot of this stuff, but let's see. I mean, it supports TypeScript out of the box. Supports a lot of awesome stuff. We're just getting our feet wet with Hardhat today. I'm gonna have a little video soon with some coding with Hardhat. But let's look here. Yeah, so migrating from truffle is the last thing I'm gonna look at. So basically, they're just telling you that here's how you do the tests. Here's how you can migrate the fixtures. Okay, so that's we've seen a lot of stuff. Deployment. Yeah, so a lot of this stuff we've talked about. Okay. But yeah, so that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, Hardhat's a tool that's getting a lot of traction out there. I think Truffle's still a great tool. But it's something you might want to consider. So that's the introduction today. Again, we're coming back with another video on how to create a small project in Hardhat, get our hands dirty with a little more code. So I hope you like this video.